Welcome back, everybody. I'm sorry to fill your box with new videos on this Colt Cobra, but I was asked so many questions on the last video when it was returned from the factory to me that I thought I should answer these questions. A lot of them were very good questions too, and that was just my first impression on it. So one of the big ones was, what's the trigger pull now? And I can tell you now, it definitely has a new spring in it. So let's take a quick look at it. First of all, it did come in quite dirty, but if you take a look at the gun, all I did was wipe this down with a microfiber towel, and you can see it's exceptionally good. There's another view of that beautiful crown they put on it. It's actually quite good, quite impressive. The gun is empty. It's been checked beforehand. Now I'm going to get fingerprints. It's a fingerprint magnet because I wouldn't be surprised if they did a little bit of polishing on the gun before they sent it back to me, and then fired it and boxed it up and shipped it. Even the face of the cylinder, what I thought was severe powder burns, wiped right off. Part of that is due to the very nice polish job on it. Needless to say, this is closer to a $1,500 revolver now. It's closer to an original Python than it was when I bought it. I've read of some other people having a few problems, as I mentioned in the last video, but nothing on this one. There is not a single flaw anywhere in the metal, and even what I thought was a scratch on the frame, thought you might have had a replaced barrel now, that just wiped away. If it was a scratch, it wasn't very deep, and I'm convinced now they just recrowned my existing barrel, and I did not rebarrel it. You can see a very, very light brush on the finish, but fairly high polish. One of the comments I got was, don't they mark the frames or under the crane? Yes, this does have some additional marks under the crane that weren't there previously. You can see those. One is some sort of a little roll mark, and the other one is a punch mark. And to tell you the truth, I don't recall what it had before, but I believe that little punch mark is new, and that probably indicates that it had some work done to it, namely the springs. And now the reason I'm convinced it has new springs in it is because the trigger weight has gone up quite a bit. All I got is my little Timony spring trigger pull gauge, but it gives me an accurate enough reading. In fact, I think it's really fairly close for as simple as an instrument it is. So let me go ahead and let's test out that single action pull. You can see I've already got it all smudged up and kind of awful looking. And when single action, we don't have to worry about the cylinder turning. So let's do a quick pull on it. And that's right what I've been getting. Whoops, sorry, hit my microphone. That's right what I have been getting on it consistently. 5 pounds, right on 5 pounds. And that's fairly substantial for a single action trigger. We'll pull it again, and that's been very consistent as to what I've been getting on it. Yep, exactly 5 pounds. Here, I'll flip it over here so you can read it. Right there's our 5 pound mark. And so, yeah, that's considerably higher than it was before. I don't recall exactly what it was before, but I think it was closer down to the 3.5 pound mark, if I remember right. So that's went up substantially. So let me try the double action pull and see what it's gone up to now. There we go. And that's pretty consistent to what I got before I did the video. And we're right at 10 pounds. Go to the top of the gauge. We're right smack on 10 pounds, maybe just a twitch over 10 pounds and an ounce or two. Same with the single action, 5 pounds and an ounce or two. I don't know if it'll lighten up as it breaks in a little bit, but yeah, that I believe it was around 8 pounds if I remember right on double action previously. So yeah, we do have a bit of increase on the trigger pull. But mind you, when I first got it, I couldn't tell pulling the trigger. It's still an extremely crisp, good trigger pull, and it kind of gives you an illusion that it's a lot lighter than what it is. There's just compared to other single action guns, I can feel just the tiniest amount of movement in the trigger before it goes off. That might smooth out, I hope, but it's exceptionally good. Someone who's not used to really fine, crisp triggers probably wouldn't even notice that. I'm not trying to talk down to anybody, but it's that good. So, and it's good enough that that 5 pound weight doesn't feel 5 pounds. It's exceptionally good. So I'm pretty happy with the firearm now. I think it's a great shooter for a Python. One of the other questions I got real fast was, how much did you pay for the gun? Well, by the time I had all my discounts, now at the time I bought it to get these earlier serial numbers, they were running for ridiculous amounts on auction sites in the neighborhood of almost $2,000. And if you could find one in the store or get one ordered, like I lucked out, you were looking at $1,500 full MSRP on it. But they, like I said, I got a couple of discounts because of the crown, and I had a 6-week waiting period to get it back. Was it worth it? Yeah. So I ended up paying about $1,200 for this firearm, plus a little bit of a weight in there, knowing I would get that. But I'm extremely pleased with the firearm now, and I promise this will be the last video I make on the subject unless I get it out and get a bunch of rounds through it, see what happens to the trigger, and see how she holds up. So I hope I answered some of the questions that were getting asked. I may replace these grips. I understand that original Python grips will fit on it, and I actually have a set, and I haven't done anything with the firearm, and I won't until I get a chance to shoot it, and then maybe I'll look at putting some original type Python grips with the gold emblem as the Pythons had. So thanks for watching, and we'll get on to some other firearms. I promise this is the last one on this Colt Python. Maybe we'll do a comparison to the original snake guns, a whole series on that, but that's going to be in the future. But thanks for watching.